morning, you guys. Hope you all having a good week so far. Alright, so right now it is September 13. We are in the Florida Panhandle. Just got past Live Oak, Florida, a couple minutes ago. We're going to be making a delivery to the Target Distribution Center in Lake City. As you might already know if you watched my last pickup video from Salinas, California. It is the same load I'm under right now. Alright, just as a reminder, just in case some of you guys haven't already figured it out by now, I regularly put bookmarks in my video descriptions. That way, if there's specific parts of the video that are more of interest to you, like maybe you don't want to hear me ramble and you just want to go straight to the, getting to the target spot on the video and seeing what the docking in experience like that, you can use those bookmarks. That won't hurt my feelings if that's all you're interested in. If the videos are useful to you in some way and only certain parts of it, great. But I'd rather you watch the videos at least even a small amount than and then move on than not check out the videos at all because you can't figure out part of the stuff you're looking for is. All right. So and depending on how you're set up to view my videos too, you might even see the chapters. Because that's what happens. It creates chapters over to the right side of the video if you're particularly on a browser, like a regular desktop browser. Alright, that said, now when I picked up this load in Salinas, I did talk about how I was not thinking I was going to make it past like King City or I didn't think I was going to make it off of Highway 101. I thought maybe at best I was going to get to that rest area just east of Paso Robles on Highway 46. I ended up making it to Lost Hill Zone. Yeah, and the only reason I was able to do that is because my 14-hour clock stopped when I was sitting in the dock door. Even though I'd already done 3+ hours sitting in Lodi, California before I got to the shipper. But since I did more than that amount of time sitting in at the shipper, I was actually there for I think 6 hours total. Once I was there for longer than the previous break was, it stopped my 14, and then the previous break is what actually counted against my 14 instead of what was then and there. All right, anyway, did a 7-3 split. I thought about doing a full 10-hour break, but my wife had stuff going on and I needed to meet up with her to get bolt cutters. Well, she couldn't find my bolt cutters, but she had a pair of her own that she ended up bringing to Barstow with her. I ended up meeting her, and one of my sons and one of my daughters in Barstow. Got the bolt cutters, and you might notice too that as long as everything's working right here, I should have 2 rear view camera mirrors, a few camera views for you to watch right now too. I will say that the driver's side one is being a little temperamental, so there's a possibility that you won't get anything out of the driver's side camera. I just turned it off and back on right before I started recording, so fingers crossed. Hopefully you should have 2 rear camera views all the way into Target throughout this video. But if you see any spots where there's no camera view, that'll explain why. We're not too far from I-75 here, just a couple more miles up the road. Looks like about 4 miles to go. Anyway, so I met up with them in Barstow, got all that taken care of, and then I ran from there out to Flagstaff. I originally wanted to run to Holbrook, but I was tired. I was getting tired, and I was already within 1,900 miles of Lake City by then. And yeah, I was going to be that's a 633 mile average shift on the next for 3 shifts. But yeah, I usually run 650, 660 on a typical shift, and as it was. I ended up, right when I stopped and flag, it ended up being too bad. I ended up talking to another driver who drives for CTI. He was inside the Little American Travel Center getting a bite to eat the same time I was in there eating. Now we got to talking, and it turned out he was also Air Force aircraft mechanic or crew chief. He said he worked on fighter jets, I think A-7s, and I can't remember what else. He was Vietnam era. Yeah, A-7 was a Vietnam era aircraft. And they retired those long time ago. They retired those before I even enlisted in '95. But yeah, he and I had a real good conversation there for a bit. So that was cool. And I ended up running from there all the way out to Childress, Texas. I think it was 715 or so miles. I was going to try to, I wanted to get to Holbrook the previous shift. That way I could more easily get to Quanah, Texas, which is about 30 miles past Childress on Highway 287 in between Amarillo and Fort Worth. I needed to meet up with my son and his mom and her husband, whatever, so I could get my son's wallet back to him and also get some extra clothes and warm clothing for my other son who's at my house still. So I got that taken care of. Ended up eating at that barbecue joint that's right next to the Loves in Quanah. Yeah, it's okay. I liked the sausage, but well, I've eaten there before and I wasn't really that impressed with the ribs. And then my ex's husband said that because he had the 2-meat plate, brisket and pulled pork. He said the pulled pork was alright, but it sounded like he wasn't too impressed with the brisket. We weren't too thrilled with the service either. The guy was alright, but I think there was some miscommunicating or something. I think he assumed or knew, thought that we knew to just go up to the cash register thing whenever we're ready to pay out, while we're waiting for him to bring the check. So, that miscue was kind of an annoying thing there. All right, here's I-75 right here. We're going to stay here on I-10. Dipshit. This guy was getting ready to pass me and just figured out that he was going to miss his exit to 75. Jackass! Alright, anyway, I ended up making it there, and then I ran another 695 miles from Childress down to McGee, Mississippi. Now it's about what is it, half hour-ish or maybe a little bit further drive south of Jackson, Mississippi, on US 49. And then I'm running from McGee to Lake City on this shift. Now, I did get a trailer tire replaced while I was in McGee. It had some flat spots on my right front outer. As I mentioned in our Facebook group, good idea for you guys, if you have trailers or whatever, or even tractors that have auto inflate system installed on them, whenever you get a tire, but actually get any kind of work done, it's a good idea to follow up on the mechanic, make sure they did their job completely. If they get a tire change, you want to make sure all the lug nuts actually got torqued down right, or they appear to be torqued down right. If it's a directional tire, Make sure that it's, make sure I don't miss my exit. Make sure that it's installed in the correct direction. Looks like it's the second, yes, the second exit down. And in my case, because all of our trailers at GCT have auto inflate. The tractors do not, but the trailers do. And whenever you have auto inflate, there's going to be a valve, a shutoff valve, right on the very front of the tandems, around in the center. You have to go underneath the trailer to get to it. Typically, there's a box, an enclosed box that has like a metering valve in it, where you can use to kind of tweak how much pressure it sends out to the tires. And on the outside of that box, on the plumbing there'll be a gate valve. If it's parallel with the hose, it's in the open position. If it's perpendicular to the hose, then it's closed. Anyway, I've been using this trailer, and that shutoff valve's been in the open position the entire time. I know it was open because I do my pre-trips. I go down there and look, and I actually specifically look for that. So I go get my trailer tire replaced this morning, or yesterday morning, I mean. They were really quick. They got me in the bay as soon as I got through airing some pickup driver's tire, and got to it right away. But when they were done, a little bit of just a minor issue there. Now would be that the mechanic, when he got through doing the tire change, he did not open the auto inflate shutoff valve back up. I'd say it's not super important that be done, because as long as the tire holds air and doesn't go flat, it's really not necessary. It's auto inflates is an accessory system anyway. It's not essential, but still, I know he closed the valve, because I know for a fact it was open when I got there, and when I went to pre-trip afterward, it was in a closed position, so I had to open it back up myself. And I've had other work too, where like maybe I had an alternator replaced on my truck, and it turned out the mechanic didn't install all the bolts. 2 of them were completely not even threaded on, and the other 2 were just loose. And I had to fix that myself. Not like it's hard. So yeah, and take it from me, having been an aircraft mechanic myself, the time when you're going to find stuff wrong is right after maintenance gets done. That's a very common time to find problems. So, yeah, it's anytime any kind of work gets done on your tractor or trailer, it's a good idea to double check the work and make sure it actually got all done completely before you bless it and run off with it. Alright, this exit coming right up is where we're going to get off here. There's going to be a Huddle house on the right side. I want to say a motel or whatever, or gas station or whatever it is on the other side. Yeah, there's a Shell station. I usually stop at the Huddle house there, 1 mile away. That's US 441. I got a lot to talk about here, so just bear with me. I'm going to probably have to do a little bit of it while we're actually parked, if there even is parking available. It is just shy of 4:30 in the morning. We'll see how it goes. If push comes to shove, I can always go to like the Loves or TA down on the other end of town, but preferably I would rather just park right over here up the street, and I can always just just PC right literally a block away to the receiver. Alright, I will be talking about, I'm going to do a bit of show and tell section here on fire extinguishers, because something else I noticed when I first picked up this truck at our San Bernardino yard was that it did not have a fire extinguisher in it. The mounting bracket thing for it is it's there, inside that left bay, but there was no fire extinguisher in it. And I've been looking around for fire extinguishers, and every time I'm at a truck stop, I'm not finding them. And which, all right, there's a truck coming. I'll wait for him. I can't tell. I couldn't tell how fast he was going. I didn't want to pull out in front of him, so I can wait. All right. Anyway, I finally came across when I was at the Loves there in McGee just yesterday. I finally came across a fire extinguisher that I could buy and put in the truck. Alright, so yeah, we got this gas station here. You can also go just a hair further, and there will be a Huddle house down here. There's also this truck, this gas station right here on the left that this guy just pulled into. I usually just go for the Huddle house right here. Yeah, because then I can grab a bite to eat or something while I'm sitting here. Alright, yeah. But I say I might have to sit and wait for a spot to become available. I don't know. We'll see. I'll turn in right. I gotta watch my tandems there. Yeah, we're good. That's a messed up lot. Got some mud puddles inside. This lot looks a little on the full side, but we'll go ahead and come in anyway and see what we got. I can always go back to that truck stop that the other guy just went into. Is this an open spot right here? Yeah. Alright, that'll be one of the nice things about being in a Freightliner is it turns so much better than my Peterbilt does, but make no mistake about it, I'd rather have my Peterbilt back, but I'll talk about that in a second. I might be a little bit late chasing that. Yeah. We go a little bit, maybe a little bit further down. I didn't go quite far enough when I set up. I want to make sure I can square up with my trailer before I break that plane to make sure that I'm we should be good there. Oh yeah, I got tons of room over on the other side, so gotta stay clear of this guy's mirror as well. Alright, so give you guys a little bit more light here. Alright, so when we get in daylight here, I'm going to go ahead and do show and tell on the fire extinguisher. There is an FMCSA reg that dictates that you are required to have one. It also tells you what kind that you're required to have. We'll go into that in a minute here. But we'll get, until then, let's go into when the question that JRG asked in one of my recent videos that I'm sure a lot of you guys want to know about, and that is status on my truck, the Peterbilt. Alright, so as you guys know, my truck needs my truck needs a rebuild. Number 4 cylinder has low compression. They gave about a $30,000 repair bill, and that's actually for both the rebuild and a new radiator. So it's actually not a bad price, because I've heard of other people saying that it costs a good $35,000 just for a rebuild. So rebuild and a radiator together for just under 30 grand. That's actually not that bad a price, from my understanding. Anyway, as it is right now, it's not being approved. However, I did send a message on Friday to Shannon Crowley. He's our vice president of risk management. He sits up, his office is upstairs, right next to where Papa John, as we call him, John Christner, the founder of this company, where his office was. John's now retired though, but yeah, Shannon's a good guy, and he's very fair. And it was a little bit on the lengthy side email, but I told him, hey, this is what I have going on. This is ideal for me. And I also mentioned what my concerns are with. I did kind of bring up manual versus auto shift, but didn't really say anything about why I like manuals. Didn't need to be discussed, but I told him I had a lot of concerns about adaptive cruise and collision avoidance systems. So as it was, just on the way to pick up my first, that Costco load with it. I don't need to keep going into that. I already talked about that, but collision avoidance gave me a warning for just some signs that were at a gore point at an off ramp. Basically, is all it was. And then today on this shift, I couldn't even go 22. I went 22 miles from McGee to Collins, Mississippi. That's as far as I went, and I had already gotten 2 collision warnings, and the adaptive cruise tried to trigger for traffic that was in the adjacent lane making right turns. So again, this is why I think these systems have no goddamn business being in any damn vehicle. And there actually are manual transmission vehicles actually now that actually have that problem, that same system. The guy who trained me, he drives for Hurricane. He's got that system in his truck, and his truck's an 18-speed. So, that's a problem. Lawmakers and all these innovators, whatever, come up. Oh, there's a snazzy new thing. We need to do this. Do you guys have any idea what exactly Pandora's box you guys are opening up with this shit? And I had mentioned to him that these damn systems cannot outsmart me. They need to stop trying to. And just like I said, today, I had 3 times in that 22-mile span between McGee and Collins, and the 4th time when I was just west of Mobile, Alabama. Every single one of those times, it was either a collision alert with the beeper thing going off warning me, or the adaptive cruise tried to react to them. And I knew it was the adaptive cruise because I could see the following distance thing on my dashboard with my peripheral vision, or even actually looking at it, quickly counting down, and it's, they're not even in my lane. It shouldn't even be giving me a following distance at all if they're not in my lane. But every time though, they were in an adjacent lane making a right turn and going considerably slower than me, and the truck tried to react to them. Again, let me do my own job. I don't need a stupid computer doing that for me. Alright, so anyway, that's out of the way. Talked about that. And yeah, I told him that was one of the big chief reasons why I even left Sierra England, the Walmart fleet that I ran before, and why I came to JCT, because when I came to JCT, they still had manual trucks available. That's how I ended up in my Peterbilt, which is actually something I commonly get asked when I talk to new JCT drivers here. You know, they'll see it. They'll initially think I'm in a Kenworth, but then they realize that I'm in a Peterbilt, because, you know, the body style on a Peterbilt and KW are very similar, or the 579 and the T680 more specifically. And yeah, or they see that, you know, or, you know, maybe they see me passing by or something, and I'll hear them on the radio. How'd you get a Peterbilt? We had them when I came to JCT. I came to the company in early 2018, and they still had Peterbilts available. Even a couple of KWs, and I think one or two Freightliners that were manuals when I came here. And the fact that JCT still had manuals is specifically why I even came to JCT. All right. Anyway. Yeah, I'm just kind of filling you guys in on, you know, a little bit on history, just in case you don't already know that information about me. So anyway, yeah, and I know this is kind of rambly, but I know some of you guys like the story time, so deal with it. All right. Anyway, let's get that off. I don't need the. I usually let the turbo cool off while it's, you know, for at least 5 minutes before I shut off the engine. That way it helps preserve the life of the turbo. Alright, anyway, let them know all those concerns, and then I told them another issue I had was cost effectiveness. Regardless, if I'm barely over 10,000 in the hole on my maintenance account right now, and I can have that thing completely paid off by November sometime, I think. So I figured, you know, if I'm at 10,200 in the hole right now, and I'm paying 37 cents a mile, or wait, no. All right, so if I'm paying 37 cents a mile into the maintenance account, and it's at negative 10,200 right now-ish, that would put me at just under 28,000 miles of more running to get it paid off. That'll take less than a quarter. We're still in the early part of September, and that's not even the new quarter yet. So, and I actually ran like 25,000 miles in just 2 months. So just over 2 months, that would be, yeah, it would definitely put me somewhere in November, maybe the early to mid part of November, by the time that $10,000 balance is paid off, if I can keep running. So, and the truck balance already being paid off as well, that kind of creates a catch-22 as well. And so the way we're looking at what we're looking at here, minus 10,000 in the hole now, plus the $30,000 repair job, we're talking about $40,000 total. So that's what it would take for me to have a roadworthy truck with actually a freshly overhauled engine too, and that would be good for getting 900,000 more miles, like Scotty was just talking about in one of my other videos. Versus what I'd have to turn in the truck that has that I've already paid off, but just haven't been able to take the title yet because I haven't paid off the maintenance account, and swap it out for a new truck that's going to cost $169,000 plus. Why would I do that? That doesn't make sense to me. That's like not even remotely equitable as far as my end of that deal is concerned. It's great for JCT, but it's horrible deal for me. So, given that, I would much rather just stay in my own truck and fix it up. And so I presented that option, at least the idea. I even said, if it comes down to it, hey, let me, if I can just stay in the loaner truck long enough to pay off the balance, and then after that, I can come up with the money on my own through my maintenance account and other sources, whatever it might be, to pay for the overhaul. So it's not coming out of JCT's pocket, because I say they take a risk when they're doing that. When they're paying into the maintenance, when they're paying for maintenance that you don't have enough to cover already, then they actually, because it's budgeting, they assume a financial risk of their own. And I understand that. Most drivers don't. And most drivers don't think they don't end up making it all the way to they pay off their truck anyway. So, all right, anyway, I just kind of threw those options. Hey, and I also mentioned JCT has competitors that still offer manual transmissions. Western Flyer Express and Hurricane being two really good examples of that. I know there are other companies out there that also do, but it's more often the smaller companies gravitate more toward the manuals, but there are still some somewhat bigger companies that do still have manuals. Not many that exist anymore, but they are still out there. And WFX, they run a lot of California. I know Hurricane does too. I just don't think I want to really drive for Hurricane. They do a lot of New York, New Jersey as well. Anthony Griffo, I know you'd love that. But I don't have a problem with coming out to your area and hanging out and all that, but I don't want to do it on a regular basis. And I don't know that Hurricane has as much variety of routes as JCT has, as far as getting other parts of the country as well. I think they do, but I just don't know to what extent. JCT, we go pretty much everywhere, but just a lot of California. But as you see, hey, I'm in Florida now. Not like I'm out here very often. Once in a blue moon, you guys see me elsewhere, Wisconsin or Iowa, or I went to Maine not too long ago. So it's there. I like that variety, and I still get home a ton with JCT, and so I really want to stay here at JCT if all goes well. I just make it worthwhile is what I'm hoping for. Because if I'm gonna have to give up this truck, my truck, I'd rather give it up for another manual transmission truck than drive an auto shift. I'll tolerate auto shift. I don't care for it, but I'll tolerate it. But adaptive cruise and collision avoidance, fuck that. I don't want anything to do with that if I don't need to be in it. So there are motives for me to move elsewhere if push came to shove on that, but I don't want to go elsewhere. Like I said, the freight lanes here at JCT are perfect for my needs, or I wouldn't say my needs, but for ideology, I guess, for my ideals, whatever. Also for my family. And there's a great bunch of people here too. I have a lot of friends here at this company, both on the road and at the yard. It's some of you guys that might come here and might not get that feeling like you feel like your family, but me personally, I can come here. I go to our terminal, and I have well-established rapport with a lot of people there. Some our HR people have really good rapport with them. Tiffany, our orientation lady, she used to work in our HR department or compliance. Good friends with her. Have rapport with a lot of the DMs, even several of the planners. You can even go in there and just chit chat with Danny Christner himself. If his door's open, he's not too busy. Now he's come out of his office and just to go use a restroom or do whatever else, walk around and, hey Scott, how you doing? And you can actually generally tell too by the way they treat other drivers who've been here that they actually do care. some drivers might not get that impression, but like I said, if you're worth keeping around, they do take care of you here. And then, you know, if you have a good attitude, people like to deal with you, and I get that a lot here. Yeah, I'm in a comfort zone here, so I really would rather stay in the Peterbilt. But if push comes to shove, though, if they say it's not equitable for them enough to work with me in some way on that, then I'll maybe even see about getting a loan or something. I don't have good credit, though. Even though it's a business loan, I just don't know how much difficulty I'd have, or if I'd be able to have any luck at all getting a loan to where I could pay off the maintenance account balance and pay for the rebuild cost. But if I can get a loan on that, then hey, then I can take over the title of the truck, get my truck fixed, be back on the road with my own truck, whether, regardless. And I do plan to stay with JCT regardless. Ideally, like I say, if it's in my own truck, I'll definitely be staying at JCT. If they end up saying you're gonna have to go to a new truck or something, and especially if I'm gonna have to pay full price, no. I'll go somewhere where I can drive a manual, or something possibly. So, like I said, that's where I'm leaning, but I can't say that's definitely what decision I will make. And it's like I said, we got good people here. And I know Shannon's working on my on addressing my email. He actually sent me a message back earlier today. Saying he hasn't forgotten about me, not ignoring me. He's, he is working on it. So we'll see. Fingers crossed, though. Like I say, I enjoy it here. Anyway, I don't want to keep rambling on about how much I love it here, because, I already had one unhappy viewer the other day bitching about how I'm making excuses, whatever. I'm like, how is this excuses? This is what my preference is. It's like my cup of tea. I like one type of tea, you like something else, or I like Pepsi, or you like Coke, whatever. Or maybe you like Sprite or something. It doesn't matter. Whatever it is, I like Chevy, I like Ford, or whatever. I don't give a shit what it is. People have their preferences, all right? And people have their reasons why they have their preferences. Deal with it. Let them have their, it's their prerogative. If that's what they like, and they shouldn't have to justify to you what their reason is for doing it. It's, and I just happen to explain why I prefer my truck. My manual transmission and no safety system at all except for lane departure. That's it. All right. Anyway, I don't want to. This is gonna be a long video. I'm pretty sure if I keep rambling. So I'm gonna go ahead and call it a day for now. We're going to continue this right down the street. I can actually see the floodlights right over there from the Target DC. You can literally walk to the DC from right here. So we're going to go down to the south end of the facility and enter from the guard shack over there. You'll see all that. So and then stay tuned also for the show and tell. I'll be probably doing that before we actually show up at Target, all right? All right, guys, time for the show and tell portion of this video. We're going to cover the fire extinguishers. Or actually fire extinguisher. This came up because when I got this truck, it did not have an extinguisher in it. It had the mount bracket 4.1, but didn't have actual extinguisher. Alright, something else. For Freightliners, you just pull this T-handle right here, and that'll open that latch, that door there. My Peterbilt doesn't have that. Alright, so right here is where the fire extinguisher goes. But now see, it looks like a little on the small side for that bracket. Alright, so here's what the rules are on fire extinguishers for CMVs. If you're, I'm going to just cover non-hazmat capable vehicles. Since I don't do hazmat, because there actually is a different requirement if you're hauling hazmat, which I forgot what the standard was, but if you're in a non-hazmat truck, you need to have at the minimum a BC. Doesn't necessarily have to have an A type classification, but this is the other part right there. Classification 10 BC. The minimum is for a CMV without hazmat is 5 BC, and I'm going to cover that here in a second. Okay, so the minimum being 5 BC, but if you don't have at least a 5, you can also use 2 4s as well. What do all those things mean? Okay, well, the number tells you how many square feet of area it can cover. So 5 BC means it can cover 5 square feet of area. The extinguisher I got there, 10 BC, means it can cover a 10-foot area. The BC or ABC, there's actually 5 different fire types: A, B, C, D, and K, I think it is, if I remember right. I'm also trying to go off my Air Force training, but alright, so put it simply, type A is your regular solid objects fires, like say wood or maybe a blanket or mattress or something here in the truck maybe catch fire. Type B would be generally your petroleum based stuff. So if it's gas, fuel, oil, that kind of stuff, that would be a type B fire. Type C would be an electrical fire. And then there's a type D, which don't really tend to deal with outside of more, like, let's say I don't know about some industrial stuff. That involves metals like titanium and some other stuff, or magnesium, stuff that burns really super hot, and you just can't get them cool enough to put them out. And then type K, that would be your basically kitchen kind of stuff, like your cooking oil kind of stuff, whatever. Don't use water on cooking oil fire, guys. By the way, if you're at home, if you have a house fire, all you're gonna do is just splash all the burning oil all over the wall, and then next thing you know, the rest of your house is catching fire very quickly. Definitely don't do that. You actually want to smother that if you don't have a extinguisher that's designed specifically for that type of fire. Alright, so that's it. Now ABC would be ideally the kind of fire extinguisher I would have liked to have, but I needed something. I didn't really care what, as long as I had something, and even better if it meets the DOT or the FMCSA specs. And it turns out that thing does actually meet spec. Alright, anyway, we're going to go make our delivery here at the Target down the streets. It is time to go check in, so PC over there because we're already here. Just need to go check in. Now, they usually do want a PO number when you're checking in. When we get over there, usually they end up having you park over on the right side, over in the drop trailer area. To walk your bills into the office, check in, and then they'll give you a doctor assignment, whatever. They don't tend to be the quickest. Tends to be at least a few hours sitting here, so maybe some detention pay coming today, which I don't really care. I'm not doing anything till tomorrow anyway. That'll be something else I can talk about. Let's get over there first, though, and then we'll, on the way out of there, we'll talk about what I'm doing after this. Alright, so yeah, right here on the left is the Target DC. Gonna go down to the south end of the building, or to that street that's just on the south side of it. Turn left. And I have been here a few times before. As you guys know, I don't end up in Florida too often personally. Really only, well, it's been more frequent lately. But I've had a tendency to not come here more than maybe, you know, to Florida at all, more than maybe a couple of times. Come on, hurry up. I didn't want to be a problem for that truck coming. But sometimes I don't trust these auto shift trucks sometimes. Where's that truck? Oh, he's turning here anyway. Okay. I thought he was going to keep running full speed, but no, he was slowing down to come this direction regardless, so it didn't matter. Oh, only one lane here this time. And I forgot to grab my my wallet. Oh, looks like they're coming out to meet me. I'm not used to that. Usually just come up right next to the window. Morning or afternoon, I guess. How you doing?
Your name, please?
Scott.
The last name?
Zane, Z-A-N-E. Let's see, you need my delivery number, right?
The state of the license?
California.
For me? Can you put on the safety vest now, please?
You've been here before?
Several times.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, have a good day. Alright. Kind of inch our way through here. Okay, yeah, no dock door assignment yet, looks like, so. And I don't think I've ever been here where they give you a dock door from here, so. Yeah, where these trucks up here on the right side are at is where we're gonna park. And we'll check in over at the office, which is up here on the left, and get a dock door assignment from them. Yeah, I actually passed at least a good 4 or 5 of these here England Target fleet guys yesterday, or early, not yesterday, early this morning on my way in. Didn't quite have enough clock to work with to get all the way here without needing a 30-minute break, so come on, dude. I'm going. Can't set up my back in if you're going to be standing there. Might not have enough room here because this Volvo, I don't know, we'll see. This thing does turn on a dime though, so. This isn't exactly how I normally do my U-turn style setups, but it'll have to do. Got a little bit too far over to the right side of that spot. As I know, these Freightliners, though, they turn on a dime practically, or at least so it seems. So I had an easy time correcting that. Even though my trailer was too far, was kind of getting over to the right side of the spot, was still able to get the tandems back to the center before I got to the back of the spot and get the tractor to square up as well. It can be done on my truck to an extent, but definitely not as easy as that can be done on a Freightliner. So if you're new to the industry, Freightliner's a good one to train in. I think that's why a lot of the mega companies use them. Anyway, we're going to go get checked in right over here. We'll figure out where we're going to dock in a few here, right? Alright guys, we're ready to dock in. Policy is slide your tandems back before bumping the dock. Leave the doors closed and sealed. They'll actually open the doors from inside. I'm going to pull my enforcer lock though, and we'll set we'll go ahead and slide tandems now, because I really don't care if I do it now or later. Alright, get the tandem slid. I don't want this guy to think that I'm actually going to pull out. I make eye contact with him so he knows I'm just trying to slide tandems. Oh, that's right. This is that same... Get out of here. Yeah, this is that same trailer that I had earlier that where the trailer brakes take a little bit of time to set. Alright, we're going to be right in between these two Target drop trailers over here. I'm going to have to modify just a tad here because of whatever this is going on. Alright, we're going to go 2 spots past because, well actually, well one kind of, because I actually got enough room to make a straight back setup. Well, it would have been a straight back had I not screwed it up. Love bugs all over the place. They're flying all over here, landing on my windshield and all that. Okay, the next step also is pull your red glad hand hose and stay hooked up. Also put the wheel chock in. I'm going to try to keep this video from getting too long. It's already on the long side. So I'm going to go ahead and shut up, and we'll continue this when we're ready to leave here. Alright guys, we're all done here. I already got my wheel chock out and the airline hook back up. I'm going to pull forward so I can get my tandem slid. Now when you check out here, they send you a text message telling you that you're done unloading. And wait for your door light to turn green. When your light turns green, you can go ahead and head out. They give you your signed bills when you first checked in though. I'll send our empty call and slide tandems back. Let's see what we got there. No S&Ds. Trailer's empty. BOL clear. Oop, no, did not drop my trailer. Come on. And got about 3/8 on fuel. Don't really care too much where the tandems are. Well, actually do in a way, because Florida does have an axle length restriction of 41 feet from the kingpin to the center of the axle group, which is halfway between the axles. Come on. Setting the brakes already. There we go. Alright, so, and that spot is 2 feet forward of the rear axle. Because the tandems are about 46 inches from one axle to the other. That's just under 4 feet. I'm going to go ahead and PC over to the gas station down the street. I don't pick up until tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. That'll be picking up in Umatilla, or as a lot of you guys would prefer to call it, Umatilla. That's yeah, don't argue with me on that. I'm going to pronounce it Umatilla, because I think that's the other way to pronounce it is just the dumb American way. So be it. It's like I say, I want whatever the native language is I try to be respectful of and pronounce it the way it's meant to be pronounced. Alright, I believe I'll have to open my doors, come all the way up to the stop. Come on. Alright, yeah, we'll come up to the stop here and then just gotta double check because I think they gotta check the inside of the trailer. Alright, guard says I don't have to open my doors, so we'll just go ahead and put that away and get over to the truck stop. Well, the gas station, whatever. Florida is notorious for not having much for truck washes, so I can wash out my trailer. And it's already after 5 p.m. Kind of the kiss of death there, so the only way I can really get to my customer for pickup on time really is to clean out the trailer myself or go way out of route. Because I think there are only 2 blue beacons in the entire state. One of them being down in, I think, Wildwood, which is way down there. Good couple 100 mile, pretty good distance, and I can't remember where the other one's at, but So I'll probably just get a broom and sweep out my trailer. I have a broom, but my broom is at my house, so I'll probably just get another one for this truck. At least get the job done for now, and I can stop down in at the Love's here in town, on the other side of town, to get fuel as well while I'm getting the broom, and head over to Umatilla from there. About a couple hour drive. I'll probably run there in the middle of the night. It's not due for pickup till 7 a.m., but they are dropping hooks, and there's a pretty good chance it'll be ready to go early. I've been there several times, and it's always been ready early. I did actually have one time I picked up there, and the load was just getting ready. The shack driver was just on his way to dropping it at the same time I showed up. Alright, what do we have for room for parking here? Alright, 14-foot clearance. Alright, good. I had to make sure I was going to clear this overhang here where these guys parked right here. Shit. Is this... Are these guys all going to the fuel island? Let's see if... Is this you in England? You... Oh, okay. Is there a way for me to get around the parking?
It might be.
Yeah, I didn't realize that he was here for fuel. So.
Yeah.
All right. Appreciate it. All right. So, yeah, England driver was right there walking back into his truck. So, there's not much room here. There's room for bobtails, but... Alright, no, this isn't going to be a good spot to park. So, how about we go back over to Huddle House or something, or Crossroad. I didn't realize there was this bad for parking. Or I might even just go ahead and get over to the truck stops. Yeah, we'll just... I'll just go ahead and head over to Love's or TA over there, because we'll probably Love's, because I need to get reefer fuel anyway. And I didn't realize the parking situation here was this bad. So yeah, we'll just the easy way to get over there so I don't have to go through town is to just get back on 10 West and take 75 South back over. So we'll just plan that out. Alright, anyway, yeah, so if we don't make this video excessively long here, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up, and so you guys can already know what I'm up to now anyway. And we'll talk about where that load will be going to in the pickup video, right? Always a pleasure having you guys on to watch. Hope you guys enjoy the content, whatever. Alright, you all have a great day, and we will see you again in Umatilla. Y'all have a great day.